What's up, guys? My name is Justin. Welcome back to the channel today, and we are back on Gran Turismo 4 for another car story, this time with one of the most legendary racing cars, once again from the late 1990s. This is the Mercedes CLK-GTR from 1998. So let's fire it up, let's launch it, and then we'll talk about it. So this is another car that I have a pretty personal history with, and that is because, once again, of course, this car was featured on apparently not turning or stopping, something bad. This car was featured on Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, which came out in 2002. I believe the PlayStation version had this race car, and the PC version had the street car, the Strassen version. And just quite an incredible machine. You can see here, obviously, easily over 200 miles an hour down Fuji straightaway. We're at the modern Fuji GT circuit. Again, I just braked way too late there because apparently there's no good braking marker that I saw, and whatever I picked was not good. But anyways, this car very, very special to me because, again, with the McLaren F1 and the Ferrari F50, this is probably, I would say this is the second best car in that game behind the McLaren F1. So I grew up kind of thinking this car was amazing, but never really knowing very much about it until I got older. Of course, this car based on the Mercedes CLK street car of the late 90s. But the only thing it really shared, apparently, was the taillights, the headlights, and the windscreen, relatively. So kind of funny how that worked out with homologation specials and such, and that's why there are actually a couple street versions of this, is because they needed a couple to make the car be legal to race in the World Endurance Championship, or whatever it was called at the time. So through the chicane here, really tedious chicane, and again, apparently you can't accelerate through that, so it's fine. I'll get better as we go. But anyways, yeah, this car very, very special to me because I played it, again, as kind of one of the end game cars on Hot Pursuit 2 when I was a kid, and that alone made it quite special to me. Again, I hold the F50 and the McLaren F1 in extremely high regard also, so this just kind of adds onto that list. Turning is difficult. But yeah, very cool, very special car. Raced in the World Endurance Championship, or whatever it was called back in the late 90s. It's escaping my mind at the moment. And dominated through 1997, 1998, that era. And then when the regulations changed to the LMGT class, which started in, I think, 1999, of course, that's where we saw things like the Toyota GT1, the BMW V12 LMR, whatever it was called. And of course, this car is famously confused with the Mercedes-Benz CLR, which is kind of the next version of this car that came afterwards. And then that car was famous in 1999 at Le Mans, of course, for flipping over 3 times because of aero things that they hadn't worked out in the wind tunnel. Not enough front downforce, a very, very low, sleek car, no kind of underbody aero, a very flat car, and a very short wheelbase, all contributed to this car taking flight 3 separate times, twice in practice and qualifying at the hands of Mark Webber, and then once during the race that was very well publicized and very well seen. I'm sure everybody's seen that video of the CLR flipping through the forest on the way down to, I believe, Indianapolis at the hands of Peter Dumbreck. So yeah, just quite a storied car, but of course that was not this car. That was a separate car that was kind of developed after this car. But regardless, this is a very, very special, incredible car, obviously very fast, and kind of contributed in some ways to that downfall of the 1999 season and into the 2000s, because it was so dominant, so incredible, that the other manufacturers didn't want to try to have to keep up and compete with this car, and so they thought it was easier and better just to dip out, which you see quite a lot in the World Sports Car Series. And so I'm very thankful that we have the incredible Sports Car World Championship going on right now that we do, because it's very difficult sometimes to convince manufacturers to stay. And I really got to find the brake marker for turn 1. Yikes. Very difficult to convince manufacturers to want to stay when they're just getting their butts kicked every single week. So regardless, that's part of it. But again, a very, very cool, very, very special car. I finally get through this corner, at least. That's progress. And yeah, again, a special car to me as a car enthusiast and as a racing game enthusiast. I, again, didn't know anything about this car when I was a kid, but one of the coolest cars of all time, basically. I mean, look at it. It's incredible to look at. And again, it's a street car, technically, but it's a race car. I mean, the street car was developed to make the race car legal, essentially. And again, this is one of those bucket list cars that someday I definitely need to find and see a CLK GTR Strassen version. There are a handful around, a couple of convertibles, a couple of prototypes. Should definitely be able to accomplish that if when again I make a trip to Germany sometime in my life to go tour some racing museums and car museums. So definitely a very special, incredible car. And again, when you see this car, the street version in person, it's just stunning. And the street version has a very strange kind of early sequential manual transmission. It's very, very interesting. I guess it was obviously similar to what went into the race car. Um, but very, very distinct, very special. And again, you couldn't miss this car from 3 miles away. Obviously, it's a CLK. But again, basically, other than the headlights and apparently the grille, windshield, whatever, tail lights, completely undistinguishable from or indistinguishable, I guess, from a street CLK GTR. I just guessed on that brake zone and got it absolutely perfectly, so this is my one chance to actually run a decently clean lap. So yeah, let's see if we can finish this one out. But again, very special car. Let me know if you have memories from the racing that was going around the world with sports cars in the late 90s. If you remember this car, if you were alive and around, if you have memories of this car from games when you were a kid, if you were like me and played obviously either this game or Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, or it was in a couple other Need for Speed games. I'm sure it was in other racing games as well, obviously. So let me know if you remember this car, if you have fond memories of it, if you think it was great, if you hate it because one of your AI competitors is really, really good in it, or whatever the case may be. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear more about blowing this corner and ruining this at decent laps so far. So see if I can salvage it. But yeah, let me know what you think down below. I appreciate you all so very much. Again, a very, very cool, very special car that I'm very thankful to be able to drive here in this game and have a nice little talk about real quick. So let me know your thoughts. I appreciate you all again so very much. I could not do this without you, and I'm so thankful. I hope you're still enjoying all these car stories and kind of me getting to talk about cars that are important to me in my history and my life and things that I find really interesting and cool. So we are going to get a best lap here, thankfully. But that's going to be it for me. Make sure you drop that like, subscribe down below. Plenty more iRacing content coming up, Gran Turismo car stories. I got a handful left to go, so I hope you are on the lookout for those and watch those and still appreciate and enjoy those. Other racing games, other Camaro content, track day content, everything else that I normally do. I appreciate you all so very much, and I hope you're still enjoying these and getting to learn a little bit something about some really incredible cars. So that's going to be it from me. I appreciate you all once again, and until next time, as always, bye-bye.